Hello, my little demons, and welcome back to another Horror Mama review. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the movie The Endless. It was made by all these lovely people here. And yeah, this movie confuses me. And um, I like it, I think. I think. All right, let's get into what I mean, okay? So, this movie starts off with these two brothers that have apparently come out of a cult. They got away from this cult. Um, and they're trying to restart their life. We have an older brother and a younger brother. Um, then, somewhere down the line, the younger brother really wants to go back to the cult. He thinks he had a better life at the cult than he does out of the cult. So the older brother agrees, if only to show him it wasn't better there. So that's kind of where we start off in this movie. Um, there is one really strange sentence that grabbed me from the beginning of the movie, and the sentence was, I have to go to deprogramming in half an hour. Could you imagine that being your life? Could you imagine that you have to be deprogrammed in some capacity? Like, I don't know, I just found that really surreal to think about. Like, that one sentence like kind of hit me. That is not a sentence that you say in your everyday life, and it's not a sentence that you probably would ever think to say in your everyday life. And yet for these two people, this is part of their life. They go to a deprogramming program. That's kind of, I don't know, that's bizarre and weird and kind of intrigued me. And that's what happened a lot in this movie. It was a little bit slow, but little things like that kept happening that kept me watching it. And that, I liked that about it. It was like this real look into what a cult might be like. Now, I am obviously I've never been in a cult. I have never been into organized religion. Full stop. If you didn't know, I'm actually Native American. I have a very spiritual, paganistic background when it comes to that sort of thing. So I wouldn't know where to start to think about what a cult might be like. And I think that this movie really explains it quite well. It's the little things, the little side glances that we get, the little nods, the little secretive talks, the little things like that that come about in this movie that make you like. First of all, it makes me very grateful to have never had any encounters with any cult like behavior. And it also makes me feel almost bad for any person in any sort of organized religion because it seems a bit much. Um, but yeah, the things that I didn't like about the movie was like it almost had this like kind of Cthulhu-esque H.P. Lovecraft kind of mythos to it, but not done well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am a big H.P. Lovecraft fan. I love the idea of his whole world that he created in his stories. And if you're gonna like nod to Cthulhu or nod to Mr. Lovecraft, then I expect you to do it right. I expect you to do it well. And if this was a nod to that, then it wasn't executed as well as I feel it should have been. I could be wrong, maybe that's not what they were going for, but it definitely had that kind of vibe to it, and I really was a little put off. Um, so, the other thing, too, about the ending of the movie. Okay, so what we have here is basically a month long of the same thing, day in, day out. Each little bubble on this mountain, they redo their same life. They don't get older, they don't die, nothing. It's the same thing, day in and day out. Until the end of the month, where they either kill themselves or they get ripped apart by the beast in the sky. So that is weird. That is kind of scary in its own right. Could you imagine every day for a month being the same? Like a whole month of your entire existence, that's what you are living over and over and over again. And at the end of the month, you just die. You don't get better at anything. You don't get worse at anything. You just die and start again. How horrible would that be? You can't leave. You can't go to other places. You are just stuck in this one little time loop until, well, forever. I know it's really difficult for us as human beings to comprehend the meaning of infinity, but could you just imagine that is your life for infinity? It's insane, and it's quite scary, and it's scary in a real way. It's scary in one of those ways that has real life implications that kind of terrifies you in your soul. Do you know what I'm saying? So, do I like this movie? Honestly, I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to watch it again. I've watched it twice now. I still like the same parts that I liked before. I still don't like the same parts that I didn't like. But I'm definitely torn between if I actually really like this movie or if I don't. So this is probably one of the few movies that I'm completely on the fence about. I don't know. I don't really know what my conclusion is to this movie. I definitely think it is good for a watch because it's definitely a great conversation starter. It's definitely something that, can be discussed and philosophized about over and over and over for hours and hours because it is very deep and very intense. But, I don't know if I like it. And I don't know if I don't like it. It really can go either way. It really depends on my mood on the day. Like today I like it. Tomorrow, maybe I'll hate it. It's just one of those things. So those are my thoughts on The Endless. I definitely think you guys should check it out because I would actually love to have some deeper conversations about it. So until the next video, happy nightmares.